Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to another episode of Coronavirus, a Global Pandemic. Alhamdulillah, it's been just over 3 weeks since the UK has been under lockdown. And just today, Dominic Raab, the Foreign Secretary of the UK, has announced a further 3 weeks where the UK will remain in lockdown. And then after 3 weeks, they will judge the situation there and they'll see how to proceed from then on, inshallah. Today, we have a number of interesting guests, alhamdulillah. We are joined by, firstly, our guest, Brother Idris Patel. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Along with, we've got Brother Imran Khan, who's the founder of 313 Fitness, a gym, a fitness service provided in East London. We are joined by Dr. Wajid, and we are joined by with special guest messages from a number of famous cricketers, part of the England and Essex team, who will be giving messages later on, inshallah. But right now, I would like to welcome Brother Idris. Wa alaikum salam. Idris, you are, mashallah, you're working with Supporting Humanity, right?
Yeah, Alhamdulillah, I am working with Supporting Humanity along with four other brothers. And Alhamdulillah, we're doing numerous different works. Food packages for the NHS, stroke 65 plus vulnerable, ambulance services, and numerous other people.
So you were here about, I think, just over 2 weeks ago.
Correct.
And since then, obviously, your advertising has increased, word has got out. I've seen it myself on social media from a number of doctors posting thank you messages to Supporting Humanity. There was a doctor from St. Thomas's Hospital. So from going from local within East London, you're actually reaching out all the way up to Westminster, isn't it?
Correct. Yeah. Alhamdulillah, today we delivered 2,100 meals, hot meals to the NHS ambulance services.
Sorry, 2,100?
2,100 hot meals to NHS, London Ambulance Services, vulnerable people, home-to-home feeding. And we've also got this new project on board where people who are being abused, stroked, victimised and are in sheltered homes. So we're also providing over 100 meals to people in sheltered homes.
That's amazing work, subhanAllah. And I remember last time I think it was just about 1,500 meals. So you've increased about another 600 meals a day, which means in a week that's a lot of meals.
Yeah, Alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah, obviously the work's going out, people, volunteers, people are trusting in our work. And again, the project itself is going stride to stride and it's just moving forward, Alhamdulillah, with the grace of all the sponsors, all the volunteers and everyone that's getting involved in the project.
SubhanAllah. And tell us why did you start this project, or why did you start this initiative?
Initially, it was because we work out that the NHS staff who are working the long hours, their canteens have closed down, and also the staff were struggling to get hot meals, and also when they are working, they never had enough time in the day to go out to get warm meals or food. And so what we wanted to do was work with the NHS and provide a service whereby we introduced ourselves and showed them that we also care, we respect what they're doing. We're also very happy and want to show the admiration of what they do as well. And that was one of the main reasons for reaching out. And day by day, what we've done is, because of the gratitude and everything that we're able to do and the help we're receiving from everyone, we're expanding our help and trying to help others as well.
There's one complaint I've heard from all of them, right? And that is the food is too delicious.
Alhamdulillah. We used Saffron Kitchen. And with the help of Kafur Poultry, who's one of the biggest suppliers, they supply the meat and chicken. And Alhamdulillah, Saffron Kitchen, who are very well renowned for food, they produce some lovely dishes with the help of their chefs and numerous other people. We have loads of people also, celebrities or professional sportsmen, who come in and also want to join in, help out. And that's one of the complaints we also had from the Essex players today, where they said the food's really tasty and they wanted to taste it before they start packing food.
So, is Saffron Kitchen actually open to the public at the moment, or have they suspended their business?
At this present moment, the whole business is closed and they're concentrating on helping us produce these meals. Alhamdulillah, with the grace of all our sponsors, we've got numerous sponsors, we've got numerous donors who are giving us money. We've got people donating money regularly. With the help of them, the cost of producing these meals is £1 at this present moment. That's the help of Kafur Poultry providing the free meals, and Saffron Kitchen have helped with donating numerous materials of making these foods, and the cost is £1 per tub, which is really cheap.
Yeah, I've seen the prices normally at a Saffron Kitchen, and it is a very nice restaurant, and obviously the food, the price you pay for it is the quality you receive. And imagining those same meals for £1 a day, that's costing you, obviously not costing the people who are receiving it. That's absolutely amazing.
Absolutely brilliant. But again, like I say, other than Saffron Kitchen, Gafoor Poultry, and numerous others, owners, Eman Channel, who are sponsoring us, it's the people who are donating the money and continuing to donate money and having trust in us. It's those people that are helping us keep this project together. Without those £1, £5, £10, £500, or £1,000 people are donating, we could not continue doing what we're doing. So we're really grateful to everyone and anyone taking part. Not just that, we've got volunteers coming out every day to take meals out. Most of these people are self-employed businessmen who have got local businesses, and they're all taking part. We've got football clubs taking part in helping us doing door-to-door. So we've got everyone and anyone involved within the local community.
Okay. I'd just like to remind the viewers at home, you can call in and join in with the discussion, or you could ask your questions. We've got our next guest is someone who is an expert in fitness, who's a personal trainer and has his own gym or fitness studio in East London called 313 Fitness. I'd like to introduce our next guest, Brother Imran Khan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah, Imran. It's a pleasure seeing you. And
hear me okay, yeah?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. It's a pleasure seeing you. And subhanallah, I actually have the privilege to train at your studio. And just before the whole Corona lockdown, I had my last session, and since then the studio's been closed because of the whole social distancing and whatnot. How's it been since the lockdown has happened?
I mean, I've set this up like this just to tease you so you can see the map behind me. I mean, it's the same for pretty much everybody, right? So it's a tough time. Forget business for a second, just generally for everybody all around the country, it's a really difficult time. Family, children, etc., not going to school. So it's a lot of pressure for a lot of people. So alhamdulillah, I think whenever you look at the situation, there's always people in a lot worse situation than what we are. So we just thank Allah for where we are, alhamdulillah. So we're okay at the moment.
So normally a lot of people, they use it, obviously they use the studio for fitness, but at the same time, it's also like a social interaction as well. You get to see your brothers and whatnot, especially yourself. The gym is constantly busy, like every day of the week. Now it's suddenly just gone quiet. How are you finding it?
Yeah, I mean, like I've been coming in every day doing bits and pieces, you know, like pretty much what everyone's doing. We try and kind of like just get through things that we need to do, some marketing, some bits, like some videos and whatever else that we're doing. But it is tough. I have children. I have 5 children, alhamdulillah, so they come in and they train with me during the day and stuff. So that breaks up the day for us a little bit. But there's only so much you can clean and so much you can do. So it does get a bit. We're looking forward to getting back in, inshallah. That's the plan. Can't wait.
Inshallah. So during this pandemic that's going on, how important is it really to keep fit? And especially with the restrictions that we have, where one, you've got social distancing, you can only exercise outside on the roads once a week. Obviously, if people are privileged to have a garden, then they get into the garden. Once a day. Sorry, yeah.
Don't tell them once a week. No one's going to go out.
Sorry, once a day. So how important is it to keep fit in this time?
It's very important. I mean, we've maintained, so for all of our various classes and our boot camps, the male and the female, we have WhatsApp groups. We've kept those groups up and running just to motivate people and encourage them to still train. So there's a lot of stuff that we've been putting out, just home workouts, body workouts, small apparatus that you can use at home to replace weights. Not everybody's going to have like home gyms and stuff like that, but it's really, really important just for like peace of mind as well. Otherwise, just cooped up in the house all day, people start going crazy. So it's very important that you get out and get some exercise, 100%.
Is there a now with Ramadan coming up, obviously now Ramadan is literally just a week away, inshallah, and your studio, I believe, is generally closed during Ramadan.
Yeah, we close during Ramadan.
What advice can you give to the viewers on what they can do in Ramadan in terms of nutrition, in terms of even exercise? Because obviously now it's been 3 weeks, then it's another 3 weeks, and then Ramadan people tend to not exercise much. What advice can you give in terms of nutrition, in terms of exercise? Is there a routine they can follow? What advice would you give them?
I mean, generally in Ramadan, you've got to remember the fast is quite long. and people have to be very, very careful that they don't overdo it. So whatever you would normally do, obviously you're not going to be doing as much as that. But I always say to our clients, I say to brothers and sisters that we know, that it's very, very important that you maintain something regular in everything that we do. So as Muslims, we do that in everything that we do anyway. So it's very important that you get some sort of exercise pretty much every day. The time that I normally prefer to train myself is before iftar time. So not too long before iftar, so that you can break your fast soon after training. Because if you try and train early in the day, it will be quite difficult to last the rest of the day. And obviously you want to spend as much time in ibadah, etc. So you don't want to be taken away from that. Planning your meals is really, really important. So especially for brothers and sisters that maybe live with family, etc. If they're not watchful of what they're eating, especially with a lot of the Asian families, the food that they generally try and cook in Ramadan is normally not very healthy. So it's a time where if you plan well, you can actually come out on the other side of Ramadan a lot healthier with regards to weight and nutrition. And if you don't plan, then subhanAllah, like anything can happen. It can go quite badly wrong for you. So you just have to be, I think planning is the key, inshallah.
So I'm guessing certain types of food have an effect on your body. And obviously, like you mentioned about Asian families. A lot of them, they are dealing with like fried food, your samosas, your pakoras. What advice can you give, and what impact does this food generally have on your body, especially at the time of iftar?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to remember, like, if a lot of the times, if people are drinking like fizzy drinks, for example, which is not, you've dehydrated yourself throughout the day, you've not drank any water, and all of a sudden you're filling yourself up with sugar, you're filling yourself up with sugars from foods as well. So you might be eating rice, you might be eating samosas, pakora, whatever it is that you're eating. These kind of things are going to have an effect on you. So you're not going to get any nutrition from this food. So when the next fast kicks in, you're going to suffer. So it's about trying to get good foods into your body at suhoor time that will kind of release into your body throughout the day and help you be strong throughout the day. So, like, I mean, you need good carbohydrates, so slow releasing carbs that go into your body. You need good fibers that go into your body. Alhamdulillah, so like, if you plan your suhoor, have oats at suhoor time, have bananas, have some fruit, and this will help you throughout the day, as opposed to having, like, I don't know, like curry and rice and whatever, like a heavy meal, and then going to sleep on that after Fajr, which is not advisable.
Now, the time, especially in the UK, the time between Maghrib and Fajr is very, very short. In that time, obviously, you need to drink a lot of water.
Yeah, 100%. If you keep yourself high, I'm sorry, I'll let you carry on.
Yeah, but in terms of the water intake, how can they, because a lot of people, even myself, I'll be drinking a whole jug of water just before the suhoor time or sehri time ends, right? Is this the correct way of doing it, or should you split it over?
You know, like, again, that little and often, right? So that same concept comes into it. So what I normally do is, I'll start, obviously, you start drinking some water after you break your fast, and keep water with you. So if you're going to Tarawih, Allah knows best if we'll get the opportunity to break Tarawih this year, but throughout the evening, up until Fajr time, you should be drinking water throughout. So not at any point you should be sitting there and gulping anything down. The same way you shouldn't be like eating until you're totally full. Because remember, in that time, you want to try and get at least 2 meals in. So small meals, which will be of benefit to you. If you can get 3 meals in, that'll be even better. So you've got like maybe a 7-hour window, or whatever it is now this year. If you can try and get that food in, it will be great. But especially with the water, you need to not be in a position where you're gulping down loads of water before certain time. That's not good for you. That can't be good for you. And I mean, look, you've got to remember with exercise as well. If you're able to get out, you're not going to get out and go for a 5-kilometer run. But if you're going out for a walk, like late afternoon, early evening, that will be of benefit to you, inshallah. Do you understand what I mean? So you have to kind of work out what you're going to do. I normally do a heavier training session after Tarawih time. So between Tarawih and Suhoor. If I was going to train really hard, that's the time I would train. If I was going to go out for a long run, that's the time I would do that. So then I could come back, and then my post-training meal would be my Suhoor. So you just got to plan your training around when you're going to have your meals.
So in your experience, the meals you have and the training or the exercise that you do after or just before iftar, how does it generally affect your day? Do you have more energy, or do you feel tired?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like I said, you're not going to train until you're totally like smashed and you can't do anything else. But generally, like, you know yourself, when anybody that's active and trains, they'll generally be a lot more active throughout their day, and their mind is a lot sharper in the way they're working. Obviously, look, we can't underestimate the fasting, and your body has to get used to the fasting. So alhamdulillah, look, we're very fortunate as Muslims that we have the sunnah of fasting on Mondays and Thursdays. So one of the things that we advise brothers, and we're told this by Prophet as well, in Shaban, he would fast more than any other time. So it's an opportunity that between now and it's only a week, 10 days left, but to train your body up now to get used to the fasting would be a lot easier than going into Ramadan and having that first day and you've got 30 days of fasting. So if you're able to get used to the fasting and obviously make most of these days as well and get that reward, then that's the best advice. That intermittent fasting is always very, very important. And we were actually doing a post about that on our Instagram today, just to advise people to get used to the fasting. And that way, when you get into Ramadan, it's not that much of a shock to your body and it's a lot easier to manage.
Now, during this pandemic or coronavirus lockdown that we're going under, it's been 3 weeks, and emotionally it can be very distressing for people. It can be very stressful for people, especially at home, especially for families and kids. Doing exercise or training, does this help the situation?
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, as I said, with my children, we try to maintain, we have like a program for them which entails their Quran, entails their school studies, and there's training. So they're either going out for a run with me, or they're coming into the gym and we're doing some work with them, or my wife's doing some training at home with them. But there's always an aspect of physical activity, because you've got to remember, when children go to school, what do? When you drop your son or your daughter to school, what's the first thing they do when they walk into school? They run off, right? And they pretty much spend the whole day running around. So all of a sudden, you've got them sat in front of a laptop, which is alien to children, and they're not getting any exercise. So it's very, very important that we kind of give them that exercise, and just for their mental well-being, like we mentioned earlier on. And even for your family, like go out for a walk with your wife, with the children, take the bikes out, whatever it is that they do, skateboards or scooters or whatever, get some fresh air, and honestly, that will help them no end. Obviously, we want to remain safe and keep that social distance from people, but there's nothing stopping people getting out and being a little bit active, as opposed to just sitting at home, like sitting in front of Netflix. I mean, look, I'll give you an example in our household. When this lockdown first started, the children were still using their tablets and playing games and stuff. So about 2 weeks ago, my wife and I made a conscious decision that we've banned all electronics from the house. So they're not allowed to watch TV, they're not allowed to play any computer games. And it's a task for us to make sure that we give them activities to do. Alhamdulillah, that we've seen such a change in their behavior just from their activity level. It's amazing, alhamdulillah. As opposed to giving them a tablet and having them sit in front of something, give them something to do, create an activity for them, play a game with them, do whatever it is that you need to do, but make it active. And you'll see a big difference in your children and obviously yourself as well.
So in Ramadan, you have obviously now you're fasting throughout the entire day, and in general guidelines you say a man should have approximately, I think, 2,500 calories, and a lady or female should have 2,000. So should someone try and pack out as many calories as possible during this time?
I mean, look, do you know what it is? Like, we say this to our clients all the time. We have guidelines for calories. Different people's bodies work in different ways. And depending on what people are trying to achieve in their training life, it will depend on how many calories they're going to consume. When you tell someone to eat 2,000 good calories in a day and ask them to note it down, you'll find how difficult it is to do. It's very, very easy to go to McDonald's and buy a filet meal, and well, it's not at the moment, but you can go and buy a filet meal and have a milkshake and a donut, and you've consumed 1,000 calories. You try to eat 1,000 good calories, you're going to actually struggle. We often get clients who have a calorie allowance, and they come and say, I can't eat enough protein, I can't get it into my system. Hence why people use supplements like protein shakes and stuff, because when you're trying to eat food and for it to be nutritious for you, it becomes really difficult. That's where the planning part comes into it. That's where you have to start prepping your meals. So you have to think ahead what you're going to do, and it's sometimes knowing what your body needs as opposed to what your body wants. So once you know what you need and you've had what you need, don't have any more. But often what we do is, which again is not the sunnah, but we sit and eat until we're totally full, and when we stand up, then we're like, oh man, I feel bloated. I mean, how many times we all do? You eat so much and you get up and you're like, I don't want to see food again. That was like way too much, until the next meal. So that's where the problem comes into it. So it's about knowing what your body needs. But yeah, you're right. Like if you look at the calories that you need in a day, try to consume those calories, but you have to ensure those calories are good. You can't think, I've got 500 calories, 3 bars of chocolate. Do you know what I mean? That's not going to be good for you.
Okay, Imran, we've only got a few minutes left till the break, inshallah. So, in terms of some last words of advice you would give to the viewers, we've got about just a minute to the end of the show. In that 1 minute, what advice would you give to our viewers for Ramadan?
It's just, honestly, look, the main thing about Ramadan is about spirituality. And we want to increase our love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for our deen, and we want to come closer to Allah. Now, if being active physically is something that will help you to come closer to Allah, then use it. If you're somebody who feels that maybe if I train and I'll get tired, and then you should never use that training or that exercise as an excuse to not read Quran or to miss your salah or for any other reason. So every single person is different, and every single person has to do things at their speed and at their pace. So work out where you are, try something new, and if you find that it was benefit to you, then do a little bit more. And if you find that it wasn't, then reduce it a little bit and make it a little bit easier the next day. But know what you're doing. I always say to people, look, slow and steady wins the race. Like, don't try to overdo anything and leave yourself.
Jazakallah khair for the advice, Imran. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. We're about to go for a break, and we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to bless you and your family. Take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. We'll see you after the break, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Coronavirus, a Global Pandemic. Alhamdulillah, so far we have been joined by Idris Patel from Supporting Humanity and Imran Khan, the CEO of 313 Fitness. Alhamdulillah, just before the break, Imran Khan was giving us a great advice in terms of what we should be eating, how we should be exercising, and what our priorities should be in terms of our health and fitness during Ramadan. If you wish to watch that, just rewind a little bit, especially on social. If you're watching this on social media, you can rewind the video a little bit and just watch it. It's just happened in the last 20-25 minutes. I would like to remind all the viewers at home, feel free to join in with the discussion or call in on the number at the bottom of the screen. We've got a couple of special messages coming from a number of cricketers as well later on, inshallah. But right now we have with us Idris Patel. So, Idris, just before the break, we were talking about the work you're doing, and you joined us. You were with us about 2 weeks ago, and subhanAllah, you went from about 1,500 meals being delivered a day to now 2,100 meals being delivered a day, and this was initially only planned for the 3 weeks of the lockdown, wasn't it? And now today, Dominic Raab, the Foreign Secretary, he announced the further 3 weeks we will be in lockdown. Do you plan to continue the work?
Yeah, inshallah, we do hope to continue. At this present moment, we've got numerous people, we've got hospitals, we've got local community hospitals and everyone contacting us regularly to increase the amount of meals that we're giving them. So because of the encouragement that we're getting, because of the call-outs from people, alhamdulillah, we're definitely looking to expand. And in Ramadan, we also want to continue. We also want to find a way of also helping the Muslim as well as the non-Muslim in Ramadan. So we're looking at the timings of serving the meals, what sort of meals we want to provide. So Brother Imran just mentioned about nutrition meals and stuff. So I'll be talking to the chefs tomorrow about my rice portions and looking at giving them healthy meals and also trying to bring everyone involved, getting involved and finding a way of helping everyone in an equal way.
Okay, mashallah. And the area first, when I first saw the poster for Supporting Humanity and the food that they're providing, initially this started with a small area, and now alhamdulillah those areas have expanded. But before we speak about that, I believe our next guest is ready, so let's take it to our next guest, inshallah. Our next guest is a special guest who, if you are a cricket fan, you all most definitely know him. He is one of the most prominent cricketers the England team has had, alhamdulillah. And on top of that, he is a Muslim as well. I would like to welcome our next guest to the show, Brother Moeen Ali. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, I'm great. What about yourself? How's it been since lockdown? I guess, are you still training with the team or not?
Alhamdulillah, it's been okay. At all. We've been obviously been at home. I was in Pakistan just before the lockdown, and so I had to rush back and kind of isolate myself. And then, we've been home. Alhamdulillah, it's been okay. Been training in my garden with the weather being so good. So yeah, all good.
So normally, as a cricketer, as an England cricketer, before lockdown or in general day-to-day life, what's it like in terms of training? How often do you train?
You're training pretty much every day or every other day. Always ticking over. You don't really get that much time off. Always traveling, playing from one country to the other. So yeah, it's always pretty much full on. But alhamdulillah, it's been nice in a way to have a break and obviously be with the family and learn things that you probably won't do in my normal day in, day out.
So Moeen, how important do you feel it is for a sports personality, maybe like yourself or other sport personalities, to show support and encourage others in this time as role models?
I think it's always. I think when you're in the limelight, I guess you always have that certain responsibility. But I think in times like this, you have to show a lot more support than you probably would do normally. We're not as busy. Obviously, we're not busy right now, so there's time and things to do that can help or make a difference in some way, and you kind of try and do whatever you can to be part of that.
Mo, I met some of the boys today, and I'm sure you spoke to them. Most of the boys are frustrated, and the biggest frustration they've got is they're not used to sitting down, and this is peak season right now. How are you finding that?
Yeah, I mean, it is frustrating, but I've been quite busy over the last probably 4 or 5 years. I had a little bit of a break, and then obviously this has almost forced a break as well. So it's been nice to spend time with the kids and the wife and the family and stuff. But yeah, you're so used to playing and training. I mean, I try and do a little bit in the garden as much as I can, just to keep things ticking over, and just in case things do change drastically, over the next month or two. So it's been good. It has been a bit frustrating because you're so used to playing and you want to keep playing, but it's also you can do things away from cricket as well, which is quite interesting and actually very good.
And that's the other thing, because when you're not playing cricket, you're very well renowned to always be helping in the community. You're always helping people, and you're a bit of like Hashim Amla, who's always renowned to be helping and doing things for community and people. So again, even right now, that's probably one of your biggest frustrations. Am I correct?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can't be hands-on, or it's a lot more difficult to be hands-on with things. So you try and stay in touch with the community or the wider general public with things online now, and just staying in contact with people and just making sure everyone's okay and you can help in any way.
Okay, that's so in terms of training, I'm just trying to think about training. What do you actually do for training? I can't imagine. Are you bowling in your garden in terms of training, or is it just general fitness training?
There's you try and set up a kind of a mini sort of gym or like circuit training and all that kind of stuff. And in terms of cricket, I have set up a little net in the garden just to keep my batting and bowling going, just ticking over really, nothing too hard or strenuous on the body or anything. Just to make sure the body still works, and you can get rusty quick in cricket if you don't train.
And do you have your kids helping you out with the cricket as well?
Yeah, I get him involved. Boy involved. I get him in the nets and throw balls at him and things like that. Keep him busy as well.
Okay, mashallah. And
has your cooking and cleaning skills improved? That's what's more important.
My cooking has definitely improved for sure. So I try to help out with the cleaning and the nappies and things like that. But you just try and you learn things that you probably wouldn't normally do, like cooking. You don't, as a cricketer, you don't do much of, and things like that. So it's been interesting and it's been very good actually. It's nice to spend time with the family, and all these kind of things. It's the cleaning, the hoovering, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Okay, mashallah. In terms of, so I believe you live in Birmingham, right?
Yeah.
How's it affected the local community, your neighbours or people around you?
My people around me, my neighbours, etc., they've been very good actually. Obviously, everyone's at home during the lockdown, trying not to do too much or go out too much. But they've also been involved in the, just getting involved with. I know, like a lot of my neighbours, they celebrate other, like Easter and stuff, and they've been busy with that. But they're just keeping themselves busy and doing stuff for their kids and stuff like that, which is quite good as well.
Mo, I know we've been waiting a long time for Ramadan, but also one of your biggest disappointments this year, you've been waiting for Liverpool to win the title for a long time.
Yeah.
Obviously going to be waiting a very long time again soon.
No, this I'm reading the news daily. So yeah, I think we're going to carry on. Somehow get the last 9 games in and lift the trophy with the empty stadium, which is fine.
Moeen, we have a caller who's got a question for yourself. Let's take this next call. Assalamu alaikum, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name's Mohammed Malik, Charlie from Coventry.
Yep, Mohammed, and welcome to the show. And what's your question?
My question, first of all, I want to wish you all a Ramadan Kareem to all of you.
You as well, brother.
And I'd just like to say to Brother Moeen that we watch him very much. We're big fans of his.
Jazakallah khair.
And I'm also a die-hard Liverpool fan.
Good man. That's the best part.
When are we going to win the league?
This year, bro, inshallah, for sure.
Inshallah.
Would you like? Do you have any other questions for Brother Moeen?
Yeah, just want to say what is his plans for Ramadan? How does he plan for Ramadan this year?
Okay, Moeen, did you hear that question? Yeah.
Yeah, I got the question. I think this year was quite unique for me because normally Ramadan we're always playing or traveling or there's always things to do, training and stuff. But this one looks like it's going to be the first one I actually spend time at home, and not going to be as busy. So I'm actually looking forward to it, because there's things you can do, obviously, during Ramadan to help improve yourself as a person, and all that kind of stuff that we try and strive for. I think it'd be obviously without probably going Tarawih and stuff like that will be difficult. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, no, I'm actually looking forward to it, to try and mainly to improve myself and obviously the family as well.
So now I'm guessing normally every Ramadan, because in recent years in the UK or even around the world actually, Ramadan has been in the summer, and a lot of the events or sporting events, like cricket and whatnot, they take place in the summer because obviously you need good weather for cricket. Now with the lockdown, you're isolating at home, or you're staying at home. What plans do you have for Ramadan in terms of obviously your spiritual side and your physical side?
I think physical side is probably train, obviously, when the sun goes down, just probably half an hour to an hour a day, if that, and very light as well, not go over the top with it. But just try and be as normal as I can during the day. I'm pretty used to fasting and playing and training and stuff, so I know it's in the mind kind of thing, and you kind of almost forget sometimes that you're fasting when you're playing or training. So I know I can do it. I know I won't be able to do that. Time will obviously go slower, but you have time to then do things spiritually that you want to do and try and improve on, whether it's reading or just trying to do things practical according to the Sunnah and stuff like that. So you kind of, I'm looking forward to that aspect of Ramadan the most this year, inshallah.
Okay, and what some last words? What advice would you give to our viewers at home, inshallah?
On Ramadan and stuff, or just generally?
Generally, and Ramadan.
I think on Ramadan is to really make the most of it, because you're going to be at home, you're going to have time. There's no excuse, and I think this whole lockdown and this whole virus thing it's a blessing as well. I know it's obviously people are dying and stuff like that. It's not easy, but it's also a blessing in certain ways, because you kind of it's a wake up call for us and for everybody in general, that I think now it's time to change. If ever you wanted or had doubts in your mind that you well, especially myself, like you kind of think, I need time to do this, do that, but I think it's a massive wake up call, and we kind of need to use this to improve ourselves and forever then after that to carry on that improvement and always try and improve your deen or your character and stuff like that.
Moin, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. We wish you and your family Ramadan Mubarak in advance, and we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to protect you and your family and the Muslims generally around the world. Hopefully we'll speak to you soon, inshallah. Take care of yourself. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. That was Moin Ali, who's part of the England cricket team, subhanallah. And now for the next segment, we are joined by some exclusive video messages that Eman Channel and Supporting Humanity have had the privilege to have. Our next video message, or our first video message, in fact, is from Simon Harmer, who captained the Essex cricket team to the T20 Blast Championship. Let's have a look at the video, inshallah.
My name is Simon Harmer. I'm from Essex County Cricket Club. We're at the Saffron Kitchen doing some food packing and helping a little bit in the kitchen to provide some hot meals for the NHS workers and people on the front lines during this sort of key time and crisis that the United Kingdom finds itself in. I think it's important, especially for us cricketers, to help the community where we can. There's obviously a lot of hospitals in the outlying areas, especially around Chelmsford and East London. So there's a lot of workers that are on the front line and that need proper meals, some wholesome food. A lot of them have just been getting sandwiches and cereal bars. So to be able to contribute in our small way and and to make sure that they're getting nutritious food and the well-prepared food here at the Saffron Kitchen. Yeah, that's kind of been our drive behind it.
The real heroes that have come through all of this are the doctors and nurses of the NHS. How do you feel about them? How have they impacted on you, seeing what they're doing every day?
Yeah, I think it's been quite motivating to see how selfless all the health workers and doctors are. They're the ones that are seeing patients that are possibly tested positive for COVID-19. So they're the ones putting their lives at risk every single day, leaving their families to make sure that you and I can sort of stay healthy. So I think all credit needs to go to them. They're the ones that are fighting. And ultimately, when these lockdown measures sort of do tend to decrease and get lighter, it's thanks to the hard work that people at the NHS are doing, and the greater public as well, making sure that we stay at home.
How has it been for cricket? Did you ever expect this season to not even start? Or how has your training been? And how have you coped with it so far?
So it's obviously been quite a lengthy pre-season. A lot of the boys started in November, getting ready for the season to start on the 19th of April. So we were in Abu Dhabi on a pre-season tour when we got the call to say that we need to sort of come back to the UK. So I think it was very unexpected. A lot of us were excited for the season to get underway, as I'm sure the supporters and the public were as well. So it was a possibility of being a very exciting summer of cricket. I'm sure the ECB is still working hard to make sure that happens. But yeah, I think the biggest thing for us now is making sure that we stay healthy, both mentally and physically, and then trying to give back where we can. We've all got a lot of time on our hands, so to be able to find charities like supporting humanity, I think is a big thing for us.
It's a very big thing in the community right now. You've got a lot of joggers out there. You've got a lot of people doing exercises. What are you doing, and what do you encourage to do to keep up with it?
I think the biggest thing is just trying to get into a routine. I think the most difficult thing about going for a run or going for a walk is getting out your front door and getting onto the road. Once you're there and once you're out in the sunshine, because the weather has been extremely good, you've got an hour to sort of stretch your legs, get some fresh air. So for me, that's been the biggest thing, is just making sure that the small routines every day, that you get into good habits and the right things. And even if you don't have weights or access to parks or whatever the case may be, there's always a way that you can find to exercise, and whether it's doing push-ups or sit-ups, whether it's just going for a walk. I think there's many ways that we can all stay active and healthy. So I think it's about getting into good routines.
Sport in general has been decimated by this. Yeah? How do you think it will come back?
I think it's going to be extremely difficult to get sort of the world to get back together again. I don't think it's going to be a very quick process. You might start seeing sport being played behind closed doors because of the fear of having so many people in a confined space in a stadium. So I think that's going to be the biggest challenge. I think TV broadcasters are going to need to make sure that they keep doing a great job making sure that the community still gets sport, because the world at large has been starved of live sports, and I think we can all agree that it's something that we're missing in our daily lives. So I think slowly but surely we'll start seeing sport again.
The boxes that we see behind us here, where are they going, and how do you think they'll help?
So we've identified a few hospitals within the Essex region, more specifically towards Chelmsford, for the charities that Essex County Cricket Club supports. And then Supporting Humanity is obviously also identified in East London, a lot of hospitals. So that's, as a whole, where the food will be going. And I think it's a great initiative by the people here. You can see all the hard work behind me going into making sure that the meals are prepped, and that hot food is served to the frontline workers.
That was an exclusive message from Simon Harmer with Eman Channel and Supporting Humanity. So how's it been with the cricketers there?
Essex have been absolutely brilliant. So Essex have reached out to us. They've been out now twice to us. They've sent the likes of Simon Harmer, Tom Wesley, Graham Gooch was out today as well, Varun Chopra, and numerous other people. We had the women's cricket team captain and a few others also, loads of young cricketers from the academy. Honestly, people from all reaches and all networks are coming out, volunteering, and that's the best beauty of this project. We're encouraging people to continue supporting humanity, and we keep saying to people, help us in any way you can, and contact Supporting Humanity on Instagram, Twitter, any way you can, and whatever, any help you can give, any little help, any big help, whatever you think you can help with, please reach out to us, because we want you guys to get involved with our project and programs.
Okay, Jazakallah khair. So we've had, so far, alhamdulillah, we've had Brother Imran Khan, the CEO of 313 Fitness, and we still have with us Brother Idris Patel, who's part of Supporting Humanity, and we also have been joined by Moeen Ali, who's part of the England cricket team. You've just seen a message by Simon Harmer, who captained the Essex cricket team to the T20 Blast Championship. We've got a number of more video messages from the Essex cricket team after the break, inshallah. So stay tuned. Don't forget, you can call in. You can join with the discussion on the number at the bottom of the screen. You are watching this live on Eman Channel, Huda TV, and Iqra TV. We'll see you after the break, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome back to Coronavirus, a Global Pandemic. SubhanAllah, we've been joined by a range of panelists today. We still have with us Idris Patel from Supporting Humanity. We've been joined by Imran Khan, the CEO of 313 Fitness, and we've been joined by Moeen Ali, who is an England cricketer. We've also had the privilege to have an exclusive video message from Simon Harmer, who was the captain of Essex cricket team. And now our next video message is from an absolute cricket legend. Many of you cricket fans out there, you know him as Graham Gooch. I would like to now introduce the special video message by Graham Gooch.
Graham, what are you doing down here today?
What I'm doing down here, I'm coming to support this restaurant. Saffron are doing a great job for the NHS workers. They're providing food. I'm going to drive it all the way back to Chelmsford in Essex, Broomford Hospital, and deliver it there. So just doing a little bit from our community for people that are saving lives. So I'm delighted to be here.
And how important is it for personalities, sports personalities, to be seen to be helping out and providing health for the NHS and supporting the NHS?
I think it's important for everyone to try and do something if you can. Obviously, a lot of vulnerable people in society. I was brought up in this area. I was born in Leighton, lived in Leytonstone all my life until I got married, moved further out into Essex. So it's nice to be in this part of the world, and I think it's important for sportsmen and anyone in society. If you can do something to help others, that's what you should be doing.
Fantastic. And what about our local heroes at Chelmsford and in the hospitals, our NHS staff? What words have you got for them?
Well, keep looking after people. You're doing a magnificent job. Everyone in society is supporting you. I'm sure most people are appreciative of what you're doing, putting yourself at risk, putting your families at risk, going out there and looking after the vulnerable people in the world, in our country. A big hats off to you. A big salute from me to you, and from everyone, I'm sure, to all the stuff you're doing for everyone who's worse off than yourselves.
Sport has taken a massive hit. How can it come back from this? And how are sportsmen just coping through this whole period?
I think it's an inconvenience for us as sportsmen. I'm obviously an ex-sportsman, but for the public, they can't see cricket, they can't see football, rugby, any of the sports. So it's an inconvenience, but compared with what's happening in society with this coronavirus and what it's doing to people, not only in our country, around the world, I think sport is really insignificant, and this is a chance for all sportsmen, professional and not, to help others who are in need.
We've been speaking today with some of the other Essex team members, captains, and we've been speaking about community that has come out of this, a community effort that has come out. How fantastic is this that we see people coming together and doing work like this?
Well, I think it's brilliant that a restaurant like this down in East London is helping not only local people in the community by supplying food to the NHS workers, but as far afield in Essex, in Colchester, Chelmsford, where I'm going to, Basildon, Southend. You know, it's a real community spirit, and I take my hats off to them for the work they're doing. It's absolutely brilliant.
And finally, Graham, the countless people, families at home today with their children, some words of encouragement and advice for them, if you.
I know it's tough being at home. If you're in a confined space with young children, it's difficult to keep them occupied, to keep them happy, but we've all got to pull our weight. We've all got to try and stay at home as much as we can, because we can't have our health service overwhelmed. And the more people that stay at home, the more chance there is that the virus won't spread so quickly. And if that happens, the quicker we can save lives and the quicker we can get back to normal living. I think it's absolutely fantastic that these local organisations, Eman Channel, Saffron Kitchen, you know, are providing this support for NHS workers, the local community, and in wider Essex as well. I think they're doing their bit to help people in need, and I think everyone should salute them for what they're doing. It's absolutely brilliant.
That was an exclusive message by Graham Gooch, who is an absolute legend in the world of cricketing. And our next video message is by another cricketer, Varun Chopra. Let's have a look at it.
Yep, Varun Chopra, Essex batsman, and we're here today helping Saffron Kitchen pack 2,100 meals for the NHS.
Why have you come down here?
Why have I come down? I've got the time. Obviously, there's no cricket at the moment, you know, make use of my time and just have a helping hand. Obviously, at NHS, and there's a lot of people that are struggling at the moment, need all the support they can get. So I know it's not a massive thing to kind of help pack some food, but every little bit helps, I guess, and yeah, happy to offer our services.
How is it going right now without any cricket or any idea of when cricket will come back?
Oh, it's really weird. Obviously, the weather's been really good as well. You've been thinking about batting and scoring runs, and hopefully the captain wins the toss and you're batting. But obviously, with these uncertain times, you know, we have no idea when we're going to be back on the park. Hopefully, we do get some cricket in this year because we're all looking forward to it. But you know, until obviously the government releases their rules, we're in the unknown like everyone else.
Have you ever experienced anything like this?
No, never. I don't think, forget about experience, I don't think we could have even imagined anything like this, to be honest, where everything's shut down. There's no cricket in the summer, you know, people out of work, NHS are busy, so there's so many things which, you know, I'm sure that the whole world didn't really think was going to ever happen.
The heroes that are emerging from this are truly the NHS staff. What is your message to them? Apart from this wonderful work that you're doing here, what is your message to them?
The message is, I think, that I know from like our community, everyone is really, really thankful of the brilliant NHS, all the work they do. Obviously, risking their own health to save others is, you know, you can't really put that into words. So, you know, I know obviously like the small things like the clapping on the Thursday nights and, you know, just trying to make them smile, give them some nice tasty food for their lunches and their breaks. You know, we do really appreciate all the stuff they're doing, and you know, we're right behind them, supporting them.
What about the country? How do you think the country has responded to the NHS now? Because just before, it was they were non-skilled and all this talk about them. How are the country looking towards the...
Well, I think perception's definitely changed, hasn't it? You see the Sir Tom, sorry I forgot his surname, just raised £12 million, I think. More now, it was 12 in this morning. I mean, what an effort. Not just by him, but by everyone who's donated towards him. And I think that shows how everyone is feeling towards NHS. You know, we've had guys on my street setting up food stalls and doing their own things, helping out. Obviously, you know, everyone's got family involved in NHS at some stage, so it really has tied everyone together. And we'll see if everyone remains this close afterwards when it's all over.
How do you see us emerging from this crisis?
Personally, I think we're still not even halfway through, I guess, of what lockdown looks like. My personal opinions, I think we're going to have sort of 9 to 12 weeks of some sort of lockdown. It might ease up slowly, but you know, hopefully things get back to normal. The vaccines and the science and medical departments do what they need to do, and everyone's safe to go back to work, and the economy and the country can start running again, and things get back to normality. But you know, as we've seen from other countries, it's probably still a while away, but you know, I'm sure they're doing everything they can to speed that along.
And finally, a message to everybody outside.
Stay home, save lives, protect the NHS.
Thank you very much.
That was an exclusive message by Varun Chopra, who plays for Essex Cricket Club. And the message that he and all the other cricketers are sharing is stay at home, save lives and protect the NHS. So our next exclusive video message, and that has been given to Eman Channel and Supporting Humanity, is by Tom Wesley, who is an Essex County Cricket Club captain. Let's have a look at this.
So my name's Tom Wesley, Essex cricket captain. I'm from Epping, so not a million miles, just up the road, and we're helping Sporting Humanity get food to NHS staff or anyone that needs it, basically.
What are you doing to cope with this sort of a situation?
Well, obviously sport has been hit very hard, but I think it's allowed us just to sort of stand still and think of the wider picture. Obviously we'd love to be playing as soon as possible, but I think it's just made us realise that there's a lot more to life than just sport. So not just myself, but a few of the other Essex cricketers have sort of taken it upon ourselves just to try and help in any which way we can. So we're down here at Saffron Kitchen today doing just that. It's been challenging, like for us, because we're so physical. Normally we'd be starting the season now, but we follow the media, you look at social media and the news, and you realise that, those NHS workers and those people, not just, the people in the hospitals, but everyone going about their day-to-day job in order to make life as normal as possible. It does make you realise that we do just play cricket. So if we can help in any which way possible, we've tried to, because we're trying to help the community, in particular, mainly Essex. Yeah. It's obviously where we're from, who we represent. So if we can help in any which way possible, we've tried our best.
Brilliant. And what exactly are you doing today?
So I've had a few roles today. Started off in the kitchen. I was here last week on dal duty, but I want to say I've been promoted to butter chicken. So we've just been making sure that, as you can see from behind us, they're packaging all the food, the Bombay aloo, the rice, the butter chicken. We had the vegetarian dish gone out earlier. So we were in the kitchen earlier, help preparing that. But now we'll be moving on to packing it up, put it in these big eskies that I'm sat on so they can get distributed out.
Brilliant. And do you know how they're being received with the nurses and the NHS workers? How are they finding it when they receive it? Have you been out with them?
Have they been receiving the Sporting Humanity? From the social media that I've followed, it's been very well received. I think it's taken them aback a bit, like how people in the community have sort of stepped up. Chatting to Arfan Akram, how the local community in this area, have raised money in order to put all this on. Idi, who's been instrumental in it all, has drawn his network and he's got sponsors to help fund it. There's drivers that are coming in. It's run like clockwork. Drivers are coming in at certain times. So I think it's been very well received and very well appreciated. Even from a couple of weeks ago when we got involved originally, I know that there's a few Essex hospitals that have seen what the cause is and what's been going on here and have asked for help that way. So I think that must be the most pleasing, the knock-on effect of help that you can give because it, where it started from.
I mean, that is an amazing part and almost a silver lining in this whole terrible period. Is the fact of community, how people are coming together. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you've experienced as well?
Well, I think obviously the most obvious one that you can see was everyone, I was going to say leave their house, but undo their window and just clapping to support the NHS. I know that's probably one of the easier things that you can do, but the sense of unity that the nation, all coming together and clapping was, it's like a very humbling, gives you goosebumps sort of feeling. But I think the likes of myself, and I know Simon Harmer, who's been helping, and some of the other Essex cricketers, this is our second time down here, which is, it's pleasing to be able to help, but, I think it takes away from, I don't want it to take away, from, the people that have been doing this day in, day out. It really makes you realise, the lengths that people are going to. And, they're doing it off their own back. It's not, it's actually phenomenal. You can't really put it into words. They're literally doing it every single day. Like we've just done a couple of days, or we've called a few sort of older members at Essex just to check in on them and help in which way you can. But I think it makes you realise just how special, the communities in the UK are when they can come together and do things like this.
When you look forward, both in sport and in the community, the impact of this on the UK and around the world, what do you look to?
Well, I think like what we've touched on there, I think it's going to really re-emphasise that sense of community, that helping others. As I said, like sport, you know, sport pales into insignificance compared to what's going on, but I think it can be used as a vehicle to bring people together. Obviously, it's going to be pure speculation as to if we play or when we play again, but for me, I think just having people watching sport and enjoying themselves after what's everyone's had to go through this year, I think will be massive. And I think programs like this, Sport and Humanity helping, you know, I think like I say, it will re-emphasise that sense of community, unity, and helping.
Brilliant. And finally, it's all about staying at home, saving lives, protecting the NHS. What have you got to say?
Well, I can only repeat what you just said there. I think if you stay home, save lives, and then you will be protecting the NHS.
That was Tom Wesley, the Essex County Cricket Club captain. We'll be now going for a short break, inshallah. Remember to tune in for the next segment, inshallah. We'll see you soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Coronavirus, a Global Pandemic. Alhamdulillah, we've had a show filled with sports personalities today. But don't worry for the viewers at home, we don't have any more sport personalities. In fact, our next two guests or next two segments is a doctor who is the GP, is a GP general practitioner, and is the vice president of British Islamic Medical Association. He will be joining us later on, inshallah. But right now, we still have with us Brother Idris Patel, who has been working very, very hard with supporting humanity.
Correct.
Idris, You're a man with many skills, mashallah, because you're not just doing supporting humanity, are you? You're helping with the buried services as well, aren't you?
Correct. So we're also, alhamdulillah, working with the NHS and also other loads of numerous mosque and community people to help with ghusls and burials. One of the things I'm doing with a sheikh called Sheikh Maulana Yunus, is helping find graves for Muslim people within the borough. So we're working with Gardens of Peace, and if Gardens of Peace is not available, we're finding various other places within Newham, Redbridge, Waltham Forest, and trying to locate graves for Muslim people.
So firstly, can I ask you, how are you balancing all of this? You're by day you're delivering food to 2,100 people, and by night you're burying people. How are you managing this?
Alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah, basically He's given me barakah in time. So He's given me the opportunity, and with a few other brothers, to go out there, be the help and the need of this ummah. So Alhamdulillah, we're just trying our hardest to be there for everyone.
So the video messages we were watching by the Essex cricket team, and obviously Graham Gooch, the England legend, they're quite pretty much hands-on with the whole process. And Tom was talking about he recently got promoted from the dal chef to the butter chicken chef. So tell us about this.
To be honest, they were overwhelmed. So even Graham Gooch today, when he was down, and he was overwhelmed with what we're doing on the project and the program. Alhamdulillah, it gave us the opportunity to show what the local community do, what we're all about. And it's not about colour, race, religion with us. It's about helping everyone and anyone. So that's what our aim is, to portray what Muslims are all about. It's about, Islam doesn't say, look at someone's colour, look at someone's religion, look at anything. So that's the whole aim of supporting humanity. Even with the burials, it's not about just the Muslims. 3 days ago, we were helping a Hindu brother. He's from Sri Lanka originally, and basically we helped him with the green slips, death certification, and numerous other activities.
So let's talk about the NHS. And the NHS, firstly, they are doing an absolute brilliant job. And I often see them tagging your social media, tagging Eman Channel as well in their posts, thanking them for the meals that they're receiving every day, and especially talking about how delicious the food is as well. So tell us about the number of hospitals you're providing meals to.
14 hospitals at this present moment, 2 ambulance services, and over 400 household people that we provide food to. And also the NHS have given us a new motto, so they keep tagging us in their messages, and they've given us this hashtag, you know how to make me smile. So we've been using the hashtag, you know how to make me smile, as a new motto that we're using for us.
Okay, mashallah. We'll continue the conversation later, inshallah, because we have our next guest ready, inshallah. Our next guest is Dr. Muhammad Wajid Akhtar, who is a GP and is the Vice President of the British Islamic Medical Association. Let us welcome our next guest, Dr. Wajid. Assalamu alaikum. Rahmatullah. How are you coping, Doctor?
Alhamdulillah, I'm coping okay. I'm not quite on the front line, the GP, so alhamdulillah, I'm coping all right.
So, what's the current situation? Now it's been 3 weeks since lockdown has happened. What's the current situation with COVID?
The current situation is that we're having a lot of people in intensive care units. We're having a lot of people needing help in the community as well. And alhamdulillah, we're getting into a place where we think we're reaching the peak or close to the peak of the disease. And this is the tricky moment, because when you feel like you're going to win, that's when you let your guard down. That's when you relax. That's when people make mistakes. And that's what we're really worried about. We're worried about people making mistakes right now, people getting too relaxed, going outside, breaking the curfew, breaking the lockdown. And that's one of the big worries.
So you're the Vice President of the British Islamic Medical Association. Tell us more about this organization.
The British Islamic Medical Association is about 6 years old. And essentially it's a organization, a platform which brings together Muslim healthcare professionals from across the country. So whether that's doctors, nurses, paramedics, pharmacists, everyone and anyone who works in the healthcare industry, we're trying to bring them together on a common platform so that we can unite together, inspire each other, and serve the community, inshallah. So that's what we've been established on, the concept of unity, about 6 years ago. And alhamdulillah, that's become very essential in this crisis. Without unity, there's just going to be more and more difficulties for everyone, not least the Muslim community.
As a GP, you have your GP surgery where you go in there on almost a daily basis. Now, with the coronavirus, with the lockdown, before the lockdown began, they were talking about if you have any mild symptoms, just stay at home. What's the situation been like? Are the GP surgeries still open, or are you guys working remotely?
It's both. The GP surgeries are open, but we are mostly trying to work remotely. We're trying to see people speak to people on the telephone. We're trying to do video consultations. I mean, just to give you an idea, about 1 month ago, less than 5% of GP consultations were on the phone or by video, and now it's probably more than 90%. So it's been a huge change in general practice, but your surgeries are still open. You can still phone them and speak to them and get advice and make a telephone appointment. This is probably the best thing that you can do. Don't let your other health problems slide. We've heard some tragic cases of young children becoming seriously unwell, people with heart attacks not going into hospital, not getting the help they need because they're worried about coronavirus. Coronavirus doesn't care about your heart attack or meningitis, nauzubillah. Go make sure you call and get the help that you need.
Doctor, do you think the community, the Muslim community overall, are taking the symptoms of coronavirus seriously? Because I think there's a lot of symptoms that are showing, but do you think they react to them and taking them seriously?
I think the Muslim community is doing just like all the other communities. We have taken it more seriously, I think, than the others. Before the government asked to shut down the places of worship, before they made that order, our masjids, our scholars, our ulama, our doctors, we spoke to each other, and the mosques were closing down 1 week before. Before the government said that we should go into lockdown, BIMA and the Muslim Council of Britain and others, Muslim Charities Forum, we were advocating for the lockdown before the government. So we were taking it more seriously, I think, than most people would think.
Now, with your remote consultation you've been doing, how has technology impacted the general practice scenario? Are you able to see or speak? Are you able to speak to more patients because of video calling or telephone calling compared to when they actually physically come in?
Yeah, definitely. It's made a huge difference. We're able to speak to a lot of people, and we're able to stay safe, and the patients are able to stay safe. So, if you're scared about seeing your doctor, you don't have to be scared on the telephone. You won't catch anything, inshallah, over the telephone. Phone them and make an appointment. This is one advice that we give, especially Muslim community. We've got a lot of problems. Don't leave them behind. With Ramadan coming up, we have one really important message I would like to get across is that there is a chance that when they relax the lockdown, they will relax the lockdown in Ramadan, right? They just announced that they're going to extend it for the next 3 weeks. So if they're extending it for the next 3 weeks, there's a good chance that at the end of Ramadan, last 10 nights of Ramadan or Eid, they will relax the lockdown. And when they relax it, it'll be a vague relaxation. We've already seen Spain and Italy doing exactly that. It's not very clear who is supposed to be relaxing and who is not. And the worry of the British Islamic Medical Association is that if you slightly relax the lockdown, last 10 nights of Ramadan, the Muslims will flood the mosques. They will just go into the mosques. They will pack it out because we're missing them. And that could lead to another spike. So we are trying to, with our partners, the Muslim Council of Britain, Muslim Charities Forum, the different COVID response groups that are set up, we're advocating and we're begging people, let's have Ramadan at home. Let's have a safe Ramadan at home, inshallah. And don't try to, sneak in a samosa with your mom if you don't live with her, or visit your friends on the side for Eid, just one friend. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Let's not lose the game at the 90th minute, inshallah.
Doctor, we're seeing a number of things on social media with regards to the end of life and advanced directives, or do not resuscitate if la qadar Allah ever comes to that situation. What's the actual truth behind this?
Jazakallah khair for asking that. It was a lot of disturbing messages actually going around. People are scared. It's not anyone's fault, but they don't know. Like when they hear the word palliative care, when they hear the word do not resuscitate, they think you're letting my parent or you're letting my relative die. This is unfortunately not true. The truth is that there are two roads that anyone can go down, right? There are two roads. Road number one is a treatment road that we're going to cure you, inshallah, at the end of this. And if you're going to be in a little bit of pain, if you have side effect to the medication, if you have a lot of visits, no problem, you're going to be cured, inshallah. But there's another road that most of us don't know about. This is not a treatment road, this is the comfort road. Because at the end of this road, we know that no matter what we do, it's very likely that, illa mashallah, that you're not going to live. You're going to pass away from this disease. And if you're on this road, because of your age, because of your comorbidities, because you have so many problems, because they're saying that they don't really think it's going to work out, then they're saying that we're focusing on your comfort. We're not going to do tests which make you uncomfortable. We're not going to do blood tests. We're not going to do things, give you medication that's going to make you uncomfortable. Everything we're going to do is going to be making you comfortable, because we know we cannot change the outcome. This is in the hands of Allah. We cannot change the outcome. You are going to pass away from this. We should keep you comfortable. Now, the Muslim community, and just like a lot of communities, not just the Muslim community, a lot of people, they look at this second road of end-of-life care, of palliative care, of advanced directives. They look at this as a mistake, as a tragedy. You must always treat the patient no matter what. That's not the case. This is not the advice. And we would tell you, please speak to your GP, please speak to your doctors, please speak to Muslim doctors that you know. And almost any Muslim doctor worth their salt, or nurse or paramedic, will tell you that this is not the case. There's nothing in the NHS that's trying to kill off old people, that's trying to abuse your relatives in any way, shape, or form.
Doctor, any last words of advice for our viewers at home, especially with Ramadan knocking on our door?
Just to reiterate the last message, please, hashtag Ramadan at home. This is the hashtag we want to spread. Do your Ramadan at home. Have a great Ramadan at home. Spend time with your family. Do Taraweeh. The Ramadan Tent Project is coming up with an online way to have iftar. Have a beautiful Ramadan at home, inshallah, so that we can defeat this virus together. Don't be tempted. Shaitan will always try to tempt us to do the wrong thing. And this is the wrong thing, to flood the mosque, go into the masjid, and then, nauzu billah, there's another spike happening in the community. The number of people who will suffer, it might not be you that suffers, it might be somebody else, a relative, your relative, who will suffer. Please don't do it. Let's spend Ramadan at home. Let's enjoy it. Let's make it a good one, inshallah.
Dr. Wajid, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. It's been some great messages that you have given us as well, and a great insight into the world of, a small insight to the world of medicine. We ask Allah to protect you and your family and all the doctors in the association, inshallah. Thank you for your time, and we hopefully speak to you soon, inshallah, again.
Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum.
That was Dr. Muhammad Wajid, who's he's the GP and the Vice President of the British Islamic Medical Association. And we still have with us our guest from the beginning of the show, Brother Idris Patel, who's been part of Supporting Humanity, and he's also involved with the burial services. So tell us a bit about the burial services. What's the situation on the ground at the moment?
Alhamdulillah, it's improving. It's improving drastically, because what's happening is now, alhamdulillah, we've got numerous epicenters for ghusl, whereby we've got local mosques now that have opened up, or we've got the mosques have donated their ghusl centers, and we've got people within these mosques now doing ghusls. That's where I was talking about earlier, about also volunteers. We're looking for volunteers to help with ghusls, collect bodies from the mortuaries, from hospitals, because people will not realize how helpful that could be by getting the bodies collected, bring them into the ghusl center, then take them from the ghusl center to the burial center, where they can be buried in peace. So we've, alhamdulillah, over the last 2-3 weeks, we've trained numerous people up to help us do ghusls, open ghusl centers, and that's what our aim is right now.
Okay, mashallah. And there's a number of messages going around on social media talking about people can't be buried, or people are in the mortuary, or they're stuck there. There's not enough grave space, or there's not enough body bags. What's the reality?
First of all, one of the things I need to mention is that all about these people who have passed away with coronavirus, the danger of the body itself after them passing away is very little, especially after they've done the ghusl on the body, where we've got a mask on board, cotton board. So there's numerous people who say, oh, you can't open the coffin up, or you can't look at the face, Complete myth. Go and speak to the doctors. They're talking about everything now. They're saying you can do loads of things because there's not much that you can't do unless a post-mortem's done, which is why they're not doing any post-mortems on people that have passed away. Alhamdulillah, these people have passed away, most probably the Shahada, the death of Shahada. We don't know what they are, but all I can say is we are probably looking too much into it, and we need to trust the doctors, the surgeons, and the advice they're giving us. The only advice I can give to people is if you want to do anything, volunteer, get involved with things. Well, there's a new procedure in places now, so the National Health have put new procedures in place for how to retain the body. So families get frustrated because they're trying to retain the body, but what they've made the procedure now is that they're trying to get funeral directors involved, more heavily involved, so that people are not knocking on their door. They don't want people come to the offices. So now, for example, myself, I speak to the doctors, I speak to the coroners, I speak to numerous surgeons. We'll ask about the cause of death certification, which goes to a bereavement office. The bereavement office then will contact the registrar. The registrars will deal directly with the funeral directors. Unfortunately, people don't have this knowledge and seem to think to want to make their own rules.
Jazakallah khair. I'm very sorry, but it's now come to the end of the show. I would like to remind the viewers we are live on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays at 8:30 p.m. on Eman Channel, Iqra TV, and Huda TV. You can always call in on the number at the bottom of the screen and join in with the discussion, or ask your questions to the number of panelists that we've had. I would like to thank all our guests today, especially for the Essex cricket team and Graham Gooch, for the exclusive video messages they gave with Eman Channel and supporting humanity. And I would like to thank Brother Idris especially for the work that he's doing. May Allah protect them all. We'll see you on the next show. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.